All right, so we're here for the crypto workshop on March 10th, 2022, and we are going to talk about several things with crypto and what I like to call level one crypto, and then touch on what level two and level three is. And you'll understand what I mean by that by the end of this. So, with that said, let's just quickly review what we're going to talk about and, essentially answer a bunch of questions. And, the first one is, am I too late to invest? Because obviously crypto's had, multiple bull markets already. So a lot of people think they kind of already missed the train. And I will show you why that's not even close to being the case. Also, we'll talk about, where and how I buy crypto, because in order to get the exposure, you got to buy it. So we'll show you easy ways to do that. And then I'm going to talk about Web 3.0. So it says, welcome to Web 3.0. And we will go through what that means, and essentially, how it's the next iteration of the internet. And from there, we will talk about what a blockchain is, because that essentially is what makes Web 3.0 possible. And after that, decentralized finance, which is essentially this revolutionary part of crypto that is letting people invest and earn, not only income off their crypto, but just the ability to do loans and all sorts of functionality that you normally could only do with traditional money and legacy finance. After that, we'll get into what crypto wallets are. Some of you already know what they are, so it'll be a refresher for those that do, and for those that don't, you'll have an idea of how to use those if you decide that you want to have your crypto off a centralized exchange and in your own personal wallet. And then we'll get into the whole NFT thing. But first, we'll start with what is essentially a non-fungible token and the difference between that and something that is fungible. And then we can talk about the different NFT types once we understand what an NFT is. And then from there, I will show you some social media sites that basically are what Web 3.0 represents, and how essentially you are the owner of your content in Web 3.0 land. And then from that, we can jump into the AMA, because I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions and we will have plenty of time for that. So without further ado, let's jump in and kind of answer that question. Am I too late to invest? So as of November 2021, based on a bunch of surveys, only 16% of Americans own cryptocurrency. So pretty small amount still. That number is only up actually 3% from August, because last time I did that data check, and it was for the workshop I did back in November, there was 13% of Americans as of August surveys. So there's been a 3% growth basically in that 3-4 month span. I'm sure at this point it's probably another 3% or more. So I would say maybe 20%. So point is, still a very small percentage overall of people are in cryptocurrency. As for the demographics, the reason I have this up here is just to prove one point, and it's this one. And it shows, and at this point, we know this number is probably higher, but it says 58% are under the age of 34. So the reason I point this out is because when it comes to investing, right, we want to invest in things that have potential growth, right, can give us potential returns. So what's the future look like, right? It's like people invest in Tesla for a reason, because it's like, all right, more and more people are going to be driving electric cars pretty soon. They believe that, there'll be electric cars everywhere. So that's good for Tesla, right? That's one of the reasons amongst all their other different businesses. But that's just an example. So when it comes to different assets, it's like, well, if more than half of people under the age of 34 are already invested in crypto, where do we think their money's going over the next 20, 30 years, right? And that's an age group where their income is going to increase, and their investment is going to increase. So, you have someone that's 25, 26 years old, right? They're a couple years into their career, whatever it is. They're at the lowest end of their earnings right now. 10 years from now, they're going to be earning more and investing more. And it's going to clearly be a big piece of that into cryptocurrency. So that's what I like to pay attention to. What are the people, the younger people doing? What are the high school kids, into? Because those are the people that are going to be investing over the next 10, 20 years more aggressively than, people that are over the age of 50 that might be starting to unwind. So with that said, it makes me bullish on the long term with crypto, because I know that's where a big chunk of money is going to. And I always talk about Bitcoin being kind of like a store of value and like kind of like digital gold, which is my opinion in the end, but it's kind of my vibe. And I don't know any 25-year-old or 21-year-old that's buying physical gold when they want an alternative investment. They're buying Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. So it's also that investment shift amongst the demographic. So now, when it comes to acquiring crypto, right? The easiest thing still is to just buy it on an exchange. So this is why I want to share this now before we get into crypto wallets and blockchains and all that, because even if you know all that stuff, the easiest way to still buy crypto is to just go to an exchange and buy it. That's how I do it still to this day. I'll go on Coinbase, I'll buy a bunch of stable coin, and then I send that stable coin to all my different crypto wallets. But in the end, I'm still using Coinbase as an onboarding tool to get crypto. I'm using my US dollars, I'm buying crypto, and then from there I can send it to all the different places that, I do transactions and whatnot. So these are a handful of sites that basically, are greenlit for US citizens. Coinbase is the most popular one, but Kraken, Voyager, Crypto.com have also become somewhat popular. I'll drop in chat the link I have for anyone that doesn't have this. If you don't have Coinbase yet, that using that link will get you $10 in Bitcoin when you grab your first $100 in crypto. So if you're planning on buying some crypto, might as well get some free Bitcoin. I like Coinbase because it's both an app and website. Same thing with Kraken. Voyager and Crypto are an app only. So if you don't like doing stuff just on your phone, you might not want to use either of those. But those are all good options. Gemini is another US-based exchange that's actually the one that's run by the Winklevoss brothers. So that's another one you can use as well. So any of those get the job done in the end. And with that said, I actually want to, I moved my thing over here. Let me move this back over. I want to basically poke around on Coinbase for a quick minute, just so you guys get a vibe for it, for those that haven't seen it before or those that do use it. So obviously I already have an account. If you were to create your own account, you just, essentially hit that button, and then it's going to ask you for your information, similar to when you sign up for a lot of other things. Like if you were creating like a Robinhood account or something like that, or maybe even Venmo. But anyway, when you log into Coinbase, you have your stuff. I don't really have anything in here. Like I said, I mainly use it for onboarding. I have a tiny bit of Bitcoin apparently sitting in here. But it gives you all the stuff, assets, shows the assets that you hold, and all the different options, and then obviously trade. So now if I wanted to like just buy Bitcoin, right, I could hit buy, and then it's going to give me options like in terms of how much I want to buy. So right now this is US dollars. So like I could buy $1,000, right? Or if I was to hit this, it switches it, and now it's doing it in Bitcoin. So it shows I would be buying 0.249 Bitcoin. So now you put in whatever you want to buy, and then it has whatever your pay with is. So like I have bank accounts set up. So like it basically would pull directly from my bank account because I connected my bank account. If you, let's say you, instead of buying directly from your bank account, you'd already put money in here, right? So I don't know if it'll work for me because I don't have anything in there right now, but let's see what happens. Okay, yeah, it's not going to show it. But if I have like USD, I could basically hit that and just and basically swap it. So instead, like I'm going to do the USDC coin. So this is a stable coin, right? So I hit on this, and why is Coinbase so slow today? So it says, so you see how the option buy, sell, and then you have convert, right? So if you have any other coin, you would hit convert, and then you can flip your coin into it. So like if I had the USDC coin, which is a stable coin, which is basically the equivalent of $1, I could basically then flip it into Bitcoin or whatever other coin I want. Like I can hit this and it gives you all the coins. Now, if you had USD, so you have an option of, let's say you like sell some crypto, right? So in fact, I'll show you an example because of the little bit of Bitcoin that it showed that I had in there. Also, Coinbase usually is much faster than this. I don't understand why there's even a second or two delay. So, all right. So you see I hit sell, right? And it's like has that little bit in there or whatever. And it says preview or whatever, and it shows total payout. So now if you look back to this, you see I had, it says add to cash USD. So what would happen there is instead of it selling it and depositing it back in my bank account, it would sell it to essentially US dollars, but it would still hold it on Coinbase. And I'd have those US dollars on Coinbase. And then I would basically be able to do the opposite. In fact, you know what? Screw it. I'm just actually going to do this. That's hilarious. You don't want to do this with just a little bit amount of money because that fee ends up being a high percentage. It's only $1.50, but it's still 10% of it. But whatever. For purposes of this call, I will spend $1.50.
Thanks, Mitch.
No problem. I can swing the $1.50. So done that transaction. When Coinbase comes back to life here. Hilarious. So it shows it here. I got the $10.54, right? So now if I go, I'm just going to go to assets. It should, and I could always hit buy sell up here as well. So in fact, I'll just do that. I'll hit buy sell. But you can see here, it says US dollar because it says your assets. So it says US dollar. So that money's there now. So even though it's behind the box here. So now I have that option. So he says it shows pay with. I have my bank accounts, you know, you can wire transfer, and then it's that cash amount, right? So now cash amount's there. So I could just select that, which it defaulted to for me, which is nice, and then just hit buy Bitcoin. So you have options. You can do it obviously with any cash money you have in there. You can do it with your bank account if you have that connected. Those are your options. So, and then anytime you're doing one coin to another, you do the convert. So like for instance, let's see if I can do USDC. So this is the stable coin. This is generally what I use a lot to kind of like onboard crypto. And
Mitch, is this Coinbase Pro or regular Coinbase?
this is regular Coinbase.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, no problem. So it says I can buy that $9 worth. So preview buy. Blah, blah, blah. The good thing about stable coins is there's no fee, there's no commissions on stable coins. So then I just do this, buy now. And now I have $9 worth of the stable coin USDC, right? So now that I have that, as Coinbase refreshes again. It's always when you're doing presentations when the websites want to be slow. But anyway, so now I flipped that. So I sold the Bitcoin into the US dollars, and then I took that US dollars, I flipped it into stable coin. I'm doing all this as obviously examples. I could have sold Bitcoin directly into the stable coin, right? But we're going through the transactions. So now at this point, I have USDC coin, but if I want to, let's say, buy Ethereum or whatever, and I want to use my stable coin, I'm not going to do a buy sell at that point. I'm essentially going to do a conversion. So I'll go back to the assets. I would select the stable coin. So that's the USDC because I sold my just regular US dollars. And it's interesting the way they have this set up because honestly, when I first used Coinbase, I got confused with the whole convert thing. But now you see, it's like I have USDC coin, so I'll use that as my from, and then I can buy whatever coin. Like there's all these different coins. So I wanted to buy like Avalanche or whatever. And then I could hit convert all. And then it tells me what my order preview is. And then you would hit convert now, which I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to leave it as USDC. So that's most of the functionality with Coinbase. So if you have USD, like actual dollars on Coinbase, you can use that to essentially purchase coin. And then if you have any crypto, like even a stable coin, you use that to convert. I don't know why they say convert. I would probably use trade or whatever it is, but you would use convert. So that's the basic functionality of Coinbase. Most of the exchanges are somewhat similar, but they all have their own specific UI. But for the most part, you're going to see things like buy, sell, trade, or buy, sell, convert.
Hey, Mitch.
Yeah, what's up?
I know you're great with analogies, and the other night, Lee and I were really benefiting from some you were using. What would an analogy be in like the banking world or some other world for Coinbase? What would be a
I mean,
analogy?
essentially, Coinbase is like your Ameritrade, Charles Schwab equivalent for crypto,
Okay.
because basically it's the same thing. Like you sign up for an account, you put in your information. At this point, they pretty much collect everything because they do, tax reporting, all that stuff. So same thing as like when you create a brokerage account for stocks, and then they do the same where they act as a custodian. So it's like you go on Charles Schwab or TD Ameritrade, you buy stocks, and in theory, they're the custodian for your stocks. They're holding that for you. So same thing with Coinbase. You buy crypto on Coinbase, and if you leave it on Coinbase, they're acting as the custodian for your crypto, and they're holding it in their wallets essentially, but you have an account for that specific crypto, and that will make further sense when we get into wallets.
So as opposed to like a Scott trade where you're doing it more yourself, this is more of a service for you.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still in a way like transacting and trading yourself. I mean, they're not really giving you much support in regards to that. But yeah, I think that would be a good comparison.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah. So anyway, that was a quick and dirty on Coinbase. In the end, it comes down to this. Just like when you go on any new website, whether it's a social media site, a stock brokerage, a crypto site, you have to at least figure out their user interface a little bit. Anytime you go to a website for the first time, you're always going to have a little bit of a learning curve. That's no different than the first time you go on Facebook, right? So just, remember that kind of going in. So with that said, let's push forward and talk about now the evolution of the internet and, essentially crypto and what crypto has done. Now that we essentially know the easiest way to get into crypto and how to buy it, it's like, well, what can we do from there outside of just buying and holding crypto, which is nothing wrong with. You can build a portfolio of crypto and hold it, and that's kind of like level one crypto. When I talk about level one crypto, it's basically understanding enough to buy some coins that you're interested in because you've done a little research and you kind of see like what the coin's used for, and you buy it on Coinbase or whatever other exchange, and you just hold it and you build a portfolio just like you would with stocks, right? That's kind of like level one crypto. It's when you start pushing past that when you more so get into the level two, level three things. So in order to kind of understand, the next level of crypto, we first need to understand essentially the evolution of the web, which got us to this Web 0.3. So if you guys remember, back in the 90s, we had Web 1.0, which was basically static web pages. It was consume only. You'd go to a page, there was data, you consume it, that was it. As far as monetizing that, people could put up like banner ads, things like that. That's all there was to it. Then we leveled up and essentially had what became Web 2.0, and it was the social web. We had things like Facebook, and then you started having obviously Google and Apple offering things that were interactive, right? But it was still a closed code. It was owned by a corporation. It was on a corporation's platform, and the users of those platforms were the data. So if you think about Facebook, right, the content on Facebook comes from where? It doesn't come from Facebook. It comes from every single user. Same thing with Twitter, right? Twitter puts out no content at all. all the content on Twitter is from their users, which is rather ironic because who makes all the money? Not the users. So the users are creating the content that Twitter and Facebook and a lot of these other social media sites make money on, which if you really think about it, is kind of messed up. Like in the end, we basically decided to trade our content in return for hearts and likes. That's basically what it came down to. It's like, let me create content so you can give me little hearts and little likes. And that was your compensation. So Web 3.0 kind of turned that upside down, because now with blockchains and open code, the contributors essentially own the platform and the users own their data. And that's because essentially of digital keys. So we'll talk about private keys and digital keys when we touch on crypto wallets. And that's essentially what, what's the word I'm looking for? Accesses that, secures that, gives it the ownership, because the private key is the identifier. So Web 3.0 has been game changing, because now you can be on social media sites and you can be creating content, but instead of getting just hearts and likes, you're actually earning dollars, usually in the form of crypto, but you're earning dollars and you own your content. There's no central authority telling you what you can and can't post. Censorship and all that stuff, getting heck, we actually had that happen with the Leo Finance site. Their YouTube channel got banned because I guess YouTube didn't like something that we produced with crypto. So that's another beauty about Web 3.0. You don't have to worry about someone like YouTube dropping the ban hammer on you and all of a sudden you can't post anymore after you've built like a big audience up, which has happened to a lot of people that have big followings. So now Web 3.0 wouldn't exist, though, like I said, without crypto, which essentially in the end is backed by the blockchain. So some of you guys have seen this before from me, and I just want to cover it again real quick. What is a blockchain? And when it comes to crypto, a blockchain, again, is open source, open ledger, and trustless, right? Because you can have blockchains that aren't those things. Like there's corporations that have their own blockchains. Like IBM has its own blockchain that it uses for logistics and things like that. But that is a closed source blockchain because they own the code. No one else has access to the code. So with crypto blockchains, all this data is available. Anyone can go on to GitHub, which is a website that has like basically just thousands and thousands of software code downloads. And you could theoretically like go and download the Bitcoin blockchain, right? It's not hidden from anybody. Now, the open ledger part is because none of the data is hidden. It's not like a corporation where you have their like let's say you have whatever it is, like Apple, right? Or Goldman Sachs, right? They have their financials, they have their books. They don't open that up to the public, and they do their quarterly reports. They share their earnings, things like that, right? But how many times have you had companies that were cooking books, right? You have Enron and stories like that. With an open ledger, that can't happen because all the data is transparent. So anything that's on the blockchain is visible. Now, it's just wallet addresses. So that is where you get the anonymous kind of part, where it's like, all right, I see this wallet, I see this transaction, but I don't actually know, who that's connected to. So, but if I give you my wallet address, then you could technically search the blockchain and see all the transactions I've done. So it's pretty cool because it's both transparent and anonymous at the same time. Now, as far as how the blockchain works, in the end, we really don't need to know all the intricacies of that, because it's like, a light switch. It's like, I don't need to know how to wire the light. I just need how to turn it on and off, right? Someone else is handling. That's why I have an electrician, right? Same thing. It's like, that's why there's developers and programmers. But the long and short of it is, with a blockchain, you have something called a hash. And I got distracted. Apparently Walter's jumping in and Kim Possible. Anyway, so as far as the blockchain goes, the identifier is called a hash, right? And each block has a hash. And what happens is, in each block, it has its hash and it has the previous block's hash. And that's literally how the chain is created. It's that simple, right? But due to that label, you have all the data for the history of the blockchain, in theory, still connected to the newest block. So like the newest block on like the Bitcoin blockchain, whichever block number that is, I don't know off the top of my head, that block in theory tracks all the way back to 2009 when the first block called the Genesis block launched. So the data is always there. So, 50 years from now, the data is still going to be there from day one. And this is also why I think blockchains would be great for real estate title, because talk about having all the information and keeping it clean, right? It's just like 200 years from now, someone buys a property and they could see, hey, look, Nick's bought this property back in 2010, 100 years ago. Hey, that's my, whatever, great uncle or something. But anyway, as far as the blockchain goes, the hash is the key. And then within each block is the transactions that are done. And when a transaction is done on crypto, so let's say like Terry sends me some Bitcoin. In order for that transaction to process, it needs to get confirmations. Confirmations happen when the Bitcoin miners are basically solving these algorithms. What they're doing is they're validating these transactions. And as they do that, they're also fighting to win the next block, because they talk about, the mining rewards. So they're fighting to win that next block, to be basically the person that is the validator for that block, right? And when they do that, they get rewarded 6.5 Bitcoin right now. That rate's going to get cut in half. I forget, I think it's maybe 2 years from now is the next expected time that the rate gets cut in half. And that continues to happen, which is also what makes Bitcoin, it's deflationary, which gives that inflationary aspect to the price, because it's becoming more and more and more and more and more restricted, and therefore the supply is becoming tighter and tighter and tighter, right? So 50 years from now, whatever it is, you might get rewarded, a half of a Bitcoin. So you see how that is. And there's only 21 million Bitcoins ever. Like that's the max supply. So there's a finite supply. Not every coin functions like this. There's obviously other coins that have like quadrillion supply, like Dogecoin, or I think it's Shiba, actually it is, which is why I'm not a fan of some of these meme coins. But anyway, so as far as the blockchain goes, that's probably really all you need to know, just, so you have a basic understanding, because in the end, we're turning the light switch on and off. We're not wiring the light ourselves. Now, because of the blockchain, right, we do have now what we were talking about earlier, decentralized finance, right? Because with a blockchain, we can have decentralization. So decentralization and DeFi on top of that basically just means there's no need for a middleman anymore. It's removing the intermediary, because the blockchain is essentially doing that function, and more so the smart contracts, which we'll talk about on the next slide. So just looking at this, you'll see basically traditional finance system. You have essentially central bank, and then bank, right? And then here it's just everyone communicating with each other. Almost look at it like crowdsourcing. Like you're interacting with specific, like the actual end user, so to speak, and the specific and a direct person, instead of like going through a bank, or let's say even an attorney or whatever it is, right? Instead, the blockchain and the smart contract is replacing that bank or replacing that attorney. And then you're essentially doing direct transactions through the blockchain, through smart contracts, because the smart contract basically has all the protocols where each milestone gets hit, it triggers the thing. It's almost like, it's sort of like having an escrow without having to have an escrow agent. You can look at it that way. So now, as far as smart contracts go, because we just talked about how that makes decentralized finance possible, as I said, smart contracts are programs stored on a blockchain that execute when predetermined criteria are met, right? So it automates agreements so all participants can immediately be certain of the outcome, right? And again, like I said, it eliminates the need of an intermediary's involvement, and definitely because of that, saves time and money, especially time. So that's what's beautiful about decentralized finance and about smart contracts. It's that streamlining, and therefore more efficiency, which usually leads to cost reduction. All right, so we talked about obviously the private keys and how that essentially gave us the Web 3.0 love. Oh, sorry, I got things. I got people popping up in the waiting room here. Super late. Forgive me for 1 second.
Super late.
Super late. Or they've been there for a few minutes and I just didn't notice because I was looking at my screen, looking at my other screen.
We started on time. They weren't.
Yeah, we gave 10 minutes after the fact.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, it was Walter's fault.
Oh,
We
okay.
had
Actually, I
a,
don't
we
know.
had a South Coast investor meeting.
Oh, that's all good.
Walter, get it.
I actually don't know that these people should be getting let in, to be honest.
I'll cover it, Mitch. Those are all my investors from the inner circle.
Ah, okay. I got you. I recognize some names. There we go. Yeah, I got the participants. I got that box on the other screen. So unless I look over, once I get into the zone, it's like in my periphery. So I just I figured at this point I probably wouldn't be seeing any new faces. Usually after about 20 minutes, we're good. All right. Anyway, so getting back to what we were saying. So some of you guys have seen me talk about crypto wallets in the past. So, early when I mentioned Web 3.0 and how like private keys pretty much give us that, access to owning our content, right? So this holds true with crypto wallets. So for those of you that haven't seen this slide, for those that have, just a refresh. Crypto wallet simply is a device or program that stores your private keys for your cryptocurrency transactions. Because in the end, when you have your crypto in a wallet, you don't technically have your crypto in a wallet, you have access to your crypto because your crypto is always on the blockchain. The wallet gives you access to your crypto. So that's why when people lose wallets and stuff, you didn't lose your crypto, you lost access to your crypto. So now when it comes to wallets, right, there's mainly two types of keys you want to pay attention to, especially for the Bitcoin blockchain, but for most blockchains. And now this doesn't hold true for every blockchain. There's, blockchains like the Hive blockchain where you get 5 different keys and they all have different functionalities. We don't need to get into that because that is more of an outlier. As far as most blockchains and as far as Bitcoin, if you create a crypto wallet, right, especially a Bitcoin wallet, you're going to get a public key, which is known as your wallet address. So you don't even have to think about public key. Just think about wallet address. Your wallet address is what you send to people to be able to give you crypto. So basically, if I send Terry an email and say, hey, bro, send me some Bitcoin, I would drop my wallet address so he could basically send me some Bitcoin. And that is why it's called the public key, because you share it with the public, right? Your private key, you do not share. It's basically your password to your wallet. So similar to your online banking password, you don't want to share your private key. It's pretty much that simple. More importantly now is what I want to talk about is a seed phrase. So as you can see down here, it says 12 to 24 random words in a specific order. So what happens is when you create a crypto wallet, you're going to get a seed phrase. When you get that seed phrase, you want to save that because that is your saving grace if you ever lose access to your crypto wallet, which therefore means you lost access to your crypto, right? So that seed phrase is going to be random words, but they're going to be in a specific order. So let's just say it's 12 words. It'll literally say like boy, job, dog, right? But there'll be a 1, 2, 3. You need to save that in the specific order. And usually, it gives you the opportunity, to just copy paste. I always take my seed phrases. I print one out, put it in my safe. I usually take another one, a digital copy, save it on like a USB drive that I have in a safe place. Because if I have a lot of crypto on my crypto wallet and let's just say my laptop blows up, I know that I can go onto another computer. I can download that same type of wallet, but instead of creating a new wallet, it'll give you the option to say import. instead of create new. You hit import, and then what happens is it pulls your crypto information off the blockchain. Because, like I said earlier, your crypto is on the blockchain. Your crypto wallet gives you access to your crypto to be able to send it and spend it. So, by importing it into that new wallet using your seed phrase, now all your crypto is back in that wallet. You have access to it because it pulls it off the blockchain. Because, again, it doesn't matter if you did that transaction, let's say 100 years from now, someone did a transaction in 2010 when Bitcoin first launched. You would theoretically be able to access that Bitcoin if you still held it from 2010 because it's on the blockchain and the data goes all the way back to the beginning. So, if you guys want to really have some fun, you could leave like a treasure hunt for like a great grandchild that's not even born yet and be like, time capsule, and they open it up and it's like they go download this wallet and put in the seed phrase, and all of a sudden they get Bitcoin that you bought in 2010. Like, how crazy it's actually pretty cool. I think I want to do that now. I think I'm going to create a time capsule with some Bitcoin. But anyway, so that's why your seed phrase is so important, because if you lose access to your crypto wallet, this is how you'll be able to get access to your crypto again. So you never have to tell a story about, oh, I used to have 5 Bitcoin on a computer, back in 2015, and now it's worth a ton of money. Like, just never be one of those people ever, please. Steve said in
Mitch,
chat, "Is the time capsule for me?" No, the time capsule is not for you, sir. It's for your future grandbabies.
Mitch, quick question.
Sure.
If Terry was sending you Bitcoin, would he ever send it instead to your Coinbase account, or would it always be him sending it to your wallet?
You could send it
address?
to my Coinbase account if you wanted to. Because on the centralized exchange, and I guess I could have showed that. So like on the centralized exchange, you still technically, they'll give you a wallet address to deposit to, so, and I could actually go back to it and show some of my transactions in withdraw and deposit. Most of them are withdraw. But yeah, so there'll be a wallet. If you're going to send crypto onto an exchange like Coinbase or send crypto off of an exchange like Coinbase, they would give you a wallet address to use. So I do know in Coinbase, if you're sending within, so let's just say like Terry owns some Bitcoin on Coinbase, he holds it on Coinbase and he wants to send it to me. I know they have a feature where you can just use like the person's email address. I think they did that to make it easier. But yeah, if you're doing anything external, in or out, it would be they would produce a wallet address for you to use.
Mitch, I have a question on that note. Do you put your crypto in different wallets, the same coin in different wallets? You mentioned that earlier, and I don't know if I understood that.
I mean, both yes and no. So for instance, as long as a wallet supports it. So, and I could even bring it up. So like, I talk about the Exodus wallet pretty often. I actually thought I had that on this slide. Apparently I did not. The Exodus wallet is a software wallet that supports a vast majority of cryptocurrencies. So now I will have multiple different cryptocurrencies on that crypto wallet, but there's a different address for the different types of cryptocurrency. So like I'll have a Bitcoin address, right? So if I send Bitcoin to my Exodus wallet, there's a specific address for the Bitcoin. If I send Ethereum to my Exodus wallet, there'll be a specific address I get for Ethereum, and so on and so forth. So even though it's one wallet that I have multiple cryptos in, I have a different address for each type of coin. So, and you'll know it because like when you go to basically hit like deposit or withdraw, it will pop up your wallet address, and then you can copy that. And then and Steve's showing his Ledger Nano, and I guess it's scrolling different addresses, or it's supposed to, but it shows the different cryptos he's got on there. So you can see it ran a few names. I saw Ethereum was one of them. And I could actually bring that up here. Where's my Exodus? So on Exodus, basically you have, see how it shows all these different coins? and I don't have a lot of these, but I have a few of them, whatever. So, there's Bitcoin, whatever it is. So let's just say I want to deposit some Ethereum, right? You have send and receive. I would hit receive, and then it pops up my wallet address. So it's got here, I can just copy that, or it's got, a QR code. But if I hit copy, right, and then I go back to Coinbase, assuming it didn't log me out, drag this over to this screen here. I don't know that it will let me even pretend to do the transaction because I don't have any Ethereum, but we'll see what happens here. I mean, I guess technically I just do that. Yeah. All right. So it logged me out already. That's annoying. Come on, Coinbase. And I can even use the USDC as an example since, I have that few dollars we did as the example earlier. So if I wanted to send this off to one of my wallets, right? I would hit the send button, and send receive, and hit send all, and then I would drop in the wallet address, and then I'd hit continue, and then basically be able to send it off to my wallet. So obviously I'm not going to do that because this is an Ethereum address that I just dropped in there. And that's the biggest thing when you're doing this. Anytime you're sending crypto off exchange or on exchange, double check your wallet address. And if it's, what is Kevin saying here? Yeah, bro, we can definitely let you in on I guess he was on his phone. Yeah, got you. We got you, bro. I'll keep an eye out. All right, there he is. So anytime you're doing a transaction for the first time, you might even want to do a test transaction because just in case you make a mistake, whatever it is, or just get comfortable with it. I mean, yeah, you'll have to pay, an extra transaction fee, but I will tell you right now, like I'm well past the point of test transactions, but for the first couple of years I was in crypto, I was doing test transactions anytime I used a new wallet, used a new DeFi site, whatever it is. And I still will do that if I get involved in something new. A lot of times I'll still do a test transaction because I'd much rather lose 10 or 20 bucks than, 1,000 or 2,000 bucks. So, and we've all been there. I mean, Walter's been there. I've been there where we basically, kiss some money away to the crypto gods. So test transactions are your friend. If you feel unsure or you don't know if you have, your information right, when in doubt, do a test transaction, and it's a cheap way to find out, right? Might as well have a learning curve that only costs you a few dollars. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program. So now that we talked about the crypto wallets, right, and we obviously touched on central exchanges and decentralized finance, at least what it is, and smart contracts in terms of just a base knowledge of what that is and what it does for us, right? Let's get into what is essentially, and smart contracts also really are level 2 crypto, but NFTs I know is something that everyone asks about and everyone's into. So that I kind of call level 2 crypto because it's that next step after just buying and holding crypto on an exchange. If you want to buy an NFT, like you have to move your crypto off exchange and, go on a site using a wallet that, allows you to buy NFTs, right? Which is not something you need to do, but people are curious about them. So I obviously share that information and that knowledge. So this is a slide that I've shown to some of you in the past, and I like to show it again just so we can go over the difference of fungible and non-fungible, right? Because it's great to know what a NFT is, but you also need to know the other side of that, because what makes something fungible. And it's that simple aspect of it's interchangeable. That's really the easiest way to look at it. So if Steve was to give me a $20 bill, I give him back 2 $10 bills. In the end, Steve still has $20. Does he have the same $20? No, because he doesn't have that $20 bill anymore. Does it matter? No, because it has the same exact value. It's interchangeable. It's not like specific value to a specific thing, right? Same thing holds true for digital assets that are fungible, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? If Terry sends me half of an Ethereum and I send him back a quarter of Ethereum, and then 3 days later, another quarter of Ethereum, he has half of Ethereum again. Does he have that same exact Ethereum? Like, no, but he has a half of Ethereum, which is worth half of Ethereum, right? Still got the same dollar worth that, half an Ethereum is worth, right? When it comes to non-fungible, right, you have things that are specific, right? So in the example, you see a house, theater tickets, fine art, right? So if I have tickets to the theater for specific seats, right, that is essentially like non-fungible in terms of what it represents. It represents my seats for that show. Can someone counterfeit it? Sure, but it's still not the actual authentic ticket, right? You can level that up, obviously, with a piece of fine art, right? If I have a Picasso, I can't give that Picasso to Steve and then Steve give me back half a Picasso and then another half a Picasso. Like, that doesn't work. Like, the paint, it's the one painting that represents that painting, and it's got its value, right? So the same thing holds true now with the non-fungible tokens, right? So this is what happened, is basically non-fungible token was created because of having the ability of smart contracts, blockchain, and cryptocurrency. So all that is so instead of having like, there's 21 million Bitcoins, and every 21 million of those Bitcoins are the same thing, right? They're interchangeable. They represent the same value. A digital non-fungible token, right, is the opposite of that. So you have, like, obviously the NFT art craze, which was ridiculous and awesome all at the same time. But the initial craze was crypto kitties. And there was, 10,000 different kitties, but they were all unique. And each one of these was attached to a token. So there was only one coin. That one coin represented that one kitty. So there wasn't 21 million of them. There was one coin. And if you own that one coin, that proved ownership to that one crypto kitty. That's essentially what non-fungible tokens are. It is a token, a single token that proves ownership to a specific thing. It's that simple. So now, with that in play, it allowed people to kind of level up and get further into what we can do with NFTs. And it stopped being just art, right? That was the initial, like, phase one kind of like tulip mania bubble of NFTs. Then we got into gaming NFTs and things like that. So the difference between art NFTs and gaming NFTs, and there's even more NFT types than this, but these two kind of cover the iterations that you can go with it. So now we talked about art. It's one thing. So whether it's there's the popular Bored Ape Yacht Club, like that's one that got very popular. I own an NFT called Fancy Bears. Like, I own a fancy bear, and my bear is specific. Like, my bear is unique out of the other 9,999 other bears, right? And that is based on me owning that NFT, which is, that token.
I own a monkey called Stone Ape. It's a stoned ape, so he's got.
You ended up buying one of
weed.
those? Nice.
No, Kevo actually sent it to me. He used my.
He sent you
MetaMask
one?
wallet,
Nice.
Sent it over. So.
Man, he just told me about when the cheap ones were still available. He didn't give me a free one. He gave me just a discount buying opportunity. With that, I didn't take advantage of because I was all in on Polycub.
Birthday's got to come around, man.
That's right, your birthday. Yeah, I got a couple months. Maybe there'll be another NFT launch. That's a cool birthday gift though, because it's one that could only potentially go up in value. But anyway, and that's because it was obviously a low price. Things can go down in value if it's already high, obviously. But anyway, so, the art's fun, but now NFT games, right? And the reason I say NFT games is because what happened is you have games on blockchains now, and they're called play to earn. So there's a lot of these games that are kind of like trading card games that people used to play, like Magic the Gathering and games like that, right? And basically people took these types of games, they put them on a blockchain, and all those cards that people physically use to play these games, like, whatever, even Dungeons and Dragons, you name it, right? Those cards are NFTs. So each card is a separate NFT, right? And you need these cards to play the game, like to battle and win battles. But you can win crypto playing these games. It's a play to earn game. So you're not just playing for fun now, like you're playing to win, and you don't have to join like some big tournament somewhere or whatever, like you can literally just play it all the time and you can win one-on-one battles or whatever it is, or you can, of course they have tournaments as well. Those NFTs, those trading cards, have value because certain cards do certain things, and you might need a stronger card to battle someone else, blah 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 blah. So people buy these cards and they have different values. That's awesome. That's somewhat similar to the art, except for I can use this card for something. I can use it for the game, so it gives it a use case. But it levels up from there because you can also take these NFT trading cards and you can earn income off of them because other people want to play the game and they might be able to afford, it's like, I can't afford that card. It's too expensive, but I can rent it from someone that has that card that might not be using it. So that levels up NFTs again, because not only are these NFT gaming cards something that you can earn money with by using them in the game, and also seeing the value of them go up, just like you do in any kind of trading card game, but also you can produce income by renting them out to other players, which I know people that do. I mean, heck, I know people that make a living off of renting out NFT gaming cards. It's baffling to me. I'm sort of jealous that I didn't do it. But anyway, so this is why NFTs are becoming, even more popular and sort of a game changer for people, because it's not just dumb art and speculation. It's also for play to earn games and a lot of other things. So yes, exactly, like Kevin said, marketplace to rent cards at different points in the games. Yeah, 100%. So, and then you'll see even like sponsored cards, like the NBA has it's called Top Shots, and basically it's clips of certain players and things like that, which in the end is a collectible, right? It kind of falls into the NFT art, right? But it's basically taking what we did as kids. Like, remember being a kid, like, buying baseball card packs, right? Like, there's no more baseball card packs. Like, they're buying NBA Top Shots. Like, the 12-year-olds don't want a physical card. Like, they want on their phone, right? So it goes back to what I was saying earlier about, is it too late to get into crypto, and how only 16% of people are in crypto in America, and that out of that, out of people under 34, 58%, right, goes back to the young people. What are the young people doing, right? They don't want physical gold. They want Bitcoin, right? They don't want a Topps baseball card, right? They want an NBA Top Shot, right? So again, it goes back to pay attention to what the kids are doing, because that's where the money's going over the next 10, 20, 30 years. So now, going back to that word I kept saying earlier, Web 3.0, right? This takes us all back to Web 3.0, right? So the owning your content, the NFTs, smart contracts, all of that. So now with Web 3.0, you have that ability, like I said, where you can earn on social media, where you can be on social media sites and you can be producing content, and instead of just getting hearts and likes, you're getting hearts that are worth something. They're worth crypto. And that is, based on a bunch of things, in terms of who votes on you and how much, stake they hold and whatnot. In fact, I actually wish I had a slide for that, in terms of the difference between the Bitcoin blockchain and some of these other blockchains, where, you can earn from creating content, because Bitcoin is what's known as a proof of work blockchain. And what that basically means is you have the Bitcoin miners mining, right? They're basically putting in work to produce blocks and move that blockchain along, right? They're using a ton of computing power and they're trying to win a block to win the Bitcoin, right? There's another type of blockchain called proof of stake. And what that means is, instead of doing a bunch of work, right, a bunch of computer work and having mining and computing power, instead you put skin in the game, as in you own a bunch of that coin and you stake it on the blockchain, you lock it up. Now you can obviously unstake it, but there's usually unstaking periods. And by that, you have more clout. And the more you stake, the more clout you have. So for instance, let me bring up Leo Finance. So on Leo Finance, people vote on people's posts and it's worth money. So like, this person earned an amount of Leo tokens, because that's the token on this platform, that is equal to $24. So it shows 115 Leo tokens, right? and there's people posting about all different things. And I gotta be honest with you, like, this is a really great resource to just for all things crypto, especially if you kind of like want to dive down. And I threw it in chat, the link. If you want to dive into some of the, level 2, level 3 things in regards to like decentralized finance and just people that are talking about different crypto projects and maybe, coins that are enticing to invest in. This is just a plethora of information. So sometimes it gets a little, one topic-y, but there's always different stuff. And it's anything relative to finance and investing, but I'd say 90% of the content is crypto related. Occasionally you got some guys that post like real estate on there. I don't know, some bald guys with beards. I actually used to post a lot of real estate stuff on there back in the day. But anyway, cool site. So
Hashtag follow me at leofinance.io/Walter Amorello.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, Squalter Alamarello. But anyway, so now when I talked about like staking and things like that, so on this platform, you have Leo tokens and then you have what is called Leo Power. You have Leo Power is the tokens that you stake. So I staked 42,000 tokens, right? So that gives me X amount of juice, so to speak, or clout on this blockchain. So now, like, if I vote on someone's post, right? So like I have all the people I follow, right? So if I was to go and vote on someone's post, right, it actually shows me what my vote is worth, and I can actually change it too. So my full vote is worth 2.7 Leo. But if I do half of that, right, 1.3, right? So if I want to vote on this, I vote on his post, and that's going to end up adding to this. But what's beautiful about it is that payout isn't just going to the author. I'm also getting a piece of that because you get what is called curation rewards. So 50% of the payout goes to the author, 50% of the payout goes to the curators, the people that voted on it. So I'm going to get a little piece of payout from this post, which is pretty cool. So not only do I get crypto for creating content, I also get crypto for consuming content. So, and then you see like it shows transactions, right? It says right here, curation reward. So I got 1.44 Leo for voting on this guy's post a week ago because it's a 1 week period for the posts on Leo Finance. So this is what I'm talking about with Web 3.0. And there's a lot of other sites like this. You have Hive is another one. And I use these two as examples because these are two that I use. There's other ones out there. There's a lot of other ones out there on different blockchains. Leo Finance runs on the Hive blockchain. Obviously, Hive runs on the Hive blockchain. So, same thing. It shows, I can go, hit my friends and it shows the people I follow, and the same thing. I can vote on people and, I can do how much. This one doesn't have the little thing where it shows you the amount. So that was a nice add-on Leo Finance did. But there's another site. This one is not specific to any topic. This one you can write about anything. It could be finance. It could be, it could be about mindfulness. You could write poetry. In fact, I remember 5 years ago, I was in a epic 6-month-long poetry battle with 2 other people where we would like do alternating posts. So, you can write about anything on here. And you also, if you have interests about any, different type of topics, you can essentially find them. You go to shows my communities or whatever, like mine, and obviously pretty, limited to what I like, but you can find communities that are talking about that. I mean, there's a composting community for people that have gardens, right? So you name it, it's pretty much on there. So it's pretty cool stuff. And it's a way to also earn crypto from just interacting, learning about crypto, consuming content, and also writing content. Obviously, to get curation rewards, you have to have crypto staked, but to earn, you just have to produce content and essentially hope people like it and vote on it, which, usually takes a time to build an audience, just like you would with a TikTok or a Facebook, right? You got to produce content and build an audience, which is not for everyone. But if it's something you want to do, you can. But like I said, when it comes to crypto, great
Rich?
place to learn is just perusing articles on Leo Finance.
Do you have a link for Hive blog? Do you have like is it an affiliate link?
No, no.
Or-
See, that's the
No?
beauty,
Okay.
that's the beauty about decentralized finance is like, there is no affiliate links, right? Because in the end, we're all getting a piece of the pie. You know what I mean? Because that's, if you think about it, like one of the big reasons affiliate links exist is because someone's buying a product, right? That you don't get any benefit from. Like whoever sells that product gets that payout, right? But if you have an affiliate link, then they essentially give you a little piece. With decentralized networks, decentralized blockchains, and decentralized finance, I get a piece just for participating, right? So, if I invite people to Leo Finance, maybe they vote on my stuff, right? And then that's how I'm getting my affiliate, so to speak, right? So there's no guarantee, but at the same time, there's no restrictions. So it's like everything in life, there's pros and cons, and I kind of look at it that way. I'm like, in a lot of ways, I could earn a lot of money just being an affiliate for people's products that charge a fee instead of just bringing people onto decentralized platforms. But over the long run, is it going to work out? Probably, because those people are going to either vote on my stuff eventually, or they're going to invest in the token that might help bring the value up, and I already own the token, right? So I kind of take it in terms of that look, but that's how a decentralized environment works. You don't have affiliates, you don't have what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say like you don't have structure, because you do, because of the blockchain, but in a way it removes a lot of the structure and gives everyone more freedom. So
You have to be invited to go onto Hive? Do you need
Nope.
invitations? No,
Nope.
you just sign up for it. Okay.
Nope. I just go, and I mean, it's even like, with Leo Finance, you just basically sign up with Twitter, sign up with MetaMask, create a Hive account. So,
Mhm.
and you can create a Hive account, from the Leo Finance interface, because
Mhm.
again, Leo Finance runs on Hive, but you could also do it from Hive. It's just hive.blog. I don't know why that's filled in don't fill in that. I just want the site itself. Stop it. But yeah, so I haven't logged out in so long. I don't even know what the homepage looks like anymore. All right, here you go. Sign up. And here you go. All right, yeah. So apparently it's got options. I guess it's got pay for options now, and then it's got free options as well. So, but yeah, because when you sign up for like a Hive account, I know it takes resource credits. So some people, I guess, are charging for that to give you instant, and then you still have your free options. So Hive onboard instant requires phone verification. Okay. So pretty cool. But yeah, you don't need an invite or anything like that. You can just go to it, kind of like you would go to Facebook and just, open an account. I don't know if I don't want to say it's as easy, but it's getting there. So especially with Leo Finance, I know on the mobile app for Leo Finance, you can actually sign up using Facebook now, but that is not an option yet on the desktop. But obviously Twitter is an easy route. So, all righty. So I guess that was good too, because we were able to talk about the difference between that proof of stake blockchain, which obviously Hive is an example of that. And again, these are just examples. There's other blockchains that have social media sites that give you the same possibilities and all that.
Quick question,
So,
Mitch.
actually, yeah, I'm going to get into this right now, because that brings us pretty much to the end of the presentation and the AMA time, which is to ask me anything. So, and then obviously you guys know all the places to find me. Most of you guys are following me on most of these places already. So, with that said, that was the crypto workshop for March 10th, 2022. And we will stop the recording.